1 minute. Council, check your microphones, please. Check.
Move mine. I gotta lean this way now.
Check. Call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Buckner?
Here.
Reverend Campbell?
Here.
Mr. Hood?
Here.
Mayor Jones?
Here.
Mr. Mayo? Here. Vice Mayor Miller?
Here.
Mr. Saunders?
Here.
Mr. Vogler?
Here.
Mr. Whittle?
Going to ask everyone to stand. We'll have our invocation by Larry Campbell Jr., followed by our Pledge of Allegiance.
We all bow our heads, please. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you for your goodness and your mercy shining down upon the city of Danville, all of the citizens, employees who work under the administration, our city manager. And God, we just want to give you praise. Look down upon the different areas of our country who have had catastrophes. We even give you more praise and thanks for you being good to us. We ask for your wisdom and knowledge tonight as we shall make these decisions that will affect our people. In your name we pray, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good evening to everyone, those of you who are here in the gallery and those who are viewing at home. Communications from visitors. Citizens who desire to speak on any item that's not on the agenda may come forward at this time. Any citizen who desires to speak on any item that's not on the agenda may come forward this time. Good evening. Please state your name and your address for the record. And again, good evening to you.
Good evening, gentlemen, and I hope everybody had a wonderful, and madam, hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July. I sure did, and I'm appreciated for the lovely fireworks that we had on display. They were a great job. My name is Catherine Wall. I live at 127 Fairway Drive, Danville, Virginia. I'm here tonight in regards to some power lines that are hanging over the eaves on the road. We have had a fire that broke out there due to the trees hanging over, and there's quite a bit of power line trees hanging over. They do spark now when it rains. When every little bit rains, we are seeing flickering of lights and flashing of fire. That was one of my things I did want to bring, because I'd hate to see anybody have a house fire. Second is the golf carts on, I believe it's called Southern Hills on Elizabeth Street. We need to make those golfers aware they have got to come to a stop when they are approaching Elizabeth. They do not stop. They come right across the street. Don't stop, and I'd hate to see somebody get killed on that road. And that's all I have for tonight, and I appreciate all your kindness.
Ms. Wall, thank you so much for being here. Our city manager and deputy city manager sitting right across from you, and also our director of utilities is here, so they will address that. Again, we're in communications. Anyone who desires to speak on any item that's not on the agenda may come forward at this time. Good evening. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Tommy Bennett, president of the NAACP. Just like to say good evening, and thank you for all the well wishes while I was in the hospital. But I would like to say I've been going around the city to different events, especially in the month of June. I would like to give a special shout out to Ethan and Julie Brown from Two Witches Brewery. If you've never been to one of their activities, they open their facility at Two Witches Brewery to everybody. If you ever go, the crossover, we had Pride, we had NAACP, we had 4th of July, we had all types. I just want to say thank you and to the city. Those are the type of business that we like to see in our city. They really bring everyone together. Everybody bring out their chairs, their kids, and everyone. And I would just like to say thank you to the City of Danville City Council for bringing us Two Witches Brewery.
Well, Tommy, thank you. I'm so glad you're feeling better. He has really, we called down there to check on him, and he's feeling a whole lot better and doing better. Still want him to slow down, though. We're still in communications. Anyone who desires to speak on any item that's not on the agenda may come forward at this time. I think you're going to speak on an item that's on the agenda. Yeah, so I think you're going to speak on an item that's on the agenda. Anyone who would desire to speak on an item that's not on the agenda may come forward this time. Anyone who wants to speak on any item that's not on the agenda may come forward this time. Under the consent agenda, Council, what's your pleasure? Councilman Campbell.
Motion to receive.
Second by Councilman Whittle. Any discussion of the motion? If not, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo. Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders. Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Under new business, consideration of granting a special use permit for a duplex at 346 Virginia Avenue. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would desire to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. I close the public hearing. Councilman Vogler.
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance granting special use permit application PLSUP 2021-124 filed by Brent Cochran requesting a special use permit for a duplex in accordance with Article 3E, Section C2 of the Danville zoning ordinance at 346 Virginia Avenue, parcel ID number 24011.
Second by Councilman Whittle. Discussion of the motion. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders. Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
I must abstain due to conflict of interest.
Under item B, consideration of a resolution denying a special use permit at 259 Guilford Street. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. Anyone who wants, please state your name and your address for the record, please.
My name is Shirley Hightower, 259 Guilford Street. The first time I had a meeting, I didn't know I was supposed to come because this is my first time doing anything like this. And the second time I was late because I looked at the time wrong. I was like 15, 20 minutes late, and I guess that's why I got denied.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Anyone else would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. Anyone else who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. I close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure? Shh. Yes, sir. Speaking to your microphone, please.
Can she come back and do it again, just because she was late for two? I mean, we can.
Let us put the motion on the floor first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Councilman Hood.
Okay. Judge, I'm sorry.
You see Stephen Gould and Clark? They like that.
Need a good attorney.
Right. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt a resolution denying special use permit application PLSUP 2021-125 filed by Shirley and Donna's Hightower, requesting a special use permit for a family daycare home in accordance with Article 3.E. Section 3.24 of Danville zoning ordinance at 259 Guilford Street, parcel ID number 51026.
Thank you, Your Honor. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Mayo. Discussion of the motion.
Wanted to know if it's complicated having things done in the city, and I understand she was late a couple of times, and if we vote it down, can she come back through the process and start over again? Go ahead.
Councilman Vogler.
Well, Madison, I think you're going to be happy in a minute. I think from what I've gathered, the majority of council is probably about to vote no on the resolution to deny, and then we're going to have a motion to approve her request tonight. So she won't even have to go back through them. I think we've got enough to get it where she can be approved tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Vogler.
I just wanted to have another bite at the apple. if
Very
there was
good, because what
something. Thank
happened
you.
was, once again, just in case you're just tuning in, she's new at this process. The first thing that happened was she did not know she had to go to the first meeting. And then the second thing that happened was the meeting was at 1 hour, and she got there, the meeting was over. So being new at this to you, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Councilman Saunders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 3 points. Point one is you're correct in terms of what happened.
Pull your microphone down to you, please, sir.
Council did appoint a planning commission, made a recommendation to us, and we can or cannot accept the recommendations, but we did appoint that commission, one. Secondly, I would say that it's my understanding that staff is still recommending approval, and we just heard the reason for the people being either not there or being late, either one. So I would be in favor of this motion because people, the first time experience, it's a learning experience.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Campbell?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if I'm in proper order to put in a motion to rescind this?
What we're going to do is
Well,
we're
one more
going to...
question. What is the procedure?
Here's the procedure. What we're going to do is we're going to vote on this motion, as Councilman Vogler just stated. I'm going to do the comments like I'm doing now. We're going to vote on this motion. If you want to vote yea or nay, nay would deny this motion, then we're going to have another motion on the floor. Councilman Buckner.
I'd just like to make this, can we go ahead and make this motion now?
We got to vote on the motion. The attorney, let me yield to the attorney. The way I understand it is, Mildred's going to kill me. She said, you said you was going to yield to the attorney, so yield to the attorney. Go ahead,
We're
Claude.
good, thank you. I don't need
You
anything.
currently have a resolution on the floor. It would be proper, it would be cleaner to, if this is council's desire, to go ahead and vote that down and then let a
Wonderful.
motion be made to approve an ordinance, because you're talking about 2 different types of things, resolution versus ordinance.
Yeah, just so before we vote on it again, just make sure we're all on the same page. If you support her project, you should vote no on this current motion. When that is voted down, I'll make a separate motion to approve, and then that, if you support her, that's the one to vote yes on. But if you support her, it's a no vote on this one we're doing right now.
Let me bring a little bit more clarity to it if you don't have it as thus. Once again, Ms. Hightower was, this is the first time, as Councilman Saunders stated, that was her first time going through this process and getting her daycare. The first meeting, she didn't know anything about. Am I correct, Ms. Hightower? She knew nothing about the first meeting. She found out later about the first meeting. The second meeting, the timing was off. Planning Commission voted because she was not there, to their defense, she was not there to answer the questions that they needed. But the city staff is voting for approval. Councilman Saunders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, Mr. Attorney, if a person wanted to vote yes, can they vote yes on both motion?
You certainly could, but if you want to defeat this motion to give her the opportunity, for a second motion being an ordinance approving, then you would vote no on this. But you could vote yes on both as well. But 5 members, there needs to be 5 members to vote one way or the other in order for the motion to pass, whatever motion it is, or to be defeated.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Hood?
Nay.
Mayor Jones?
No.
Mr. Mayo?
No.
Vice Mayor Miller?
No.
Mr. Saunders?
No?
Mr. Vogler?
No.
Mr. Whittle?
No?
Mr. Buckner?
No.
Reverend Campbell?
No. Councilman Vogler.
Yes, Mayor. I move we adopt an ordinance granting special use permit application PLSUP 2021-125 filed by Shirley and Donis Hightower requesting a special use permit for a family daycare home in accordance with Article 3E, Section C24 of the Danville zoning ordinance at 259 Guilford Street, parcel ID number 51026.
Second by Councilman Hood. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Mayo?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Saunders?
Yeah.
Mr. Vogler?
Yes.
Mr. Whittle? Mr. Buckner?
Yes.
Reverend Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Hood?
Yes.
Mr. Attorney, please explain to Ms. Hightower what just took place.
You're open for business. Congratulations.
I'm trying to talk in my microphone and see her turn. I just want to let Ms. Hightower know what happened was the council has now approved the ordinance that was required in zoning, so you'll need to go see the zoning administrator, this gentleman right here, sometime during business hours to pick up your approval, and you'll be ready to go into business.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Councilman Saunders.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Attorney, in the future, again, we appoint the Planning Commission. They make recommendation. We are not required to approve and/or reject their recommendation. In this particular package tonight, the commission denied the request, but the staff recommended approval. So I guess my question is, commission denies, staff recommend approval. Does that have anything at all to do with the issue?
No, sir. What happened was the staff has been in support of this all along, but when she didn't show up, the Planning Commission didn't have a way of making really a call one way or the other. Because you all have the final call, the safest thing for them to do was to deny it, because by denying it, then they give you all the opportunity to do whatever you want to do. And so it was just the safest thing by not being able to. So it was just, I think the proper procedure was followed. And like you said, ultimately, council has the final call on that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. On item C, consideration of rezoning at 1083 Franklin Turnpike. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. I close the public hearing. Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve an ordinance rezoning 1083 Franklin Turnpike, parcel ID number S54397 and 53892 from OTR, Old Town Residential, to conditional TOC, Transitional Office Commercial.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Campbell. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayo?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle? Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Hood?
Aye.
Mayor Jones?
Aye. On item D, consideration of rezoning 816 West Main Street. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. I close the public hearing. Councilman Hood.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt an ordinance rezoning 816 West Main Street, parcel ID numbers S57237 and 57238 for OT-R, Old Town Residential, to HR-C, Highway Rental Commercial.
Second by Councilman Buckner. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Miller? Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Hood?
Aye.
Mayor Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Mayo?
Aye. Under item E, consideration of granting a special use permit at 145 Franklin Turnpike. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. Please state your name and address for the record, and good evening to you.
Hello, my name is Wanda Joyner, and my address is 120 Freeze Road. The item that just was discussed is my item. I have acquired the property on 145 Franklin Turnpike. We are doing renovations for a daycare center, and I pray that you let me do it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anyone, we're still in public hearing. Anyone else would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. I close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure? Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve an ordinance granting a special use permit application, PLSUP 2021-168, filed by Wanda Joyner on behalf of MW Real Properties LLC, requesting a special use permit for a daycare center in accordance with Article 3.m, Section C.6 of the Danville zoning ordinance at 154 Franklin Turnpike, parcel ID number 52599.
Second by Councilman Mayo. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Hood?
Aye.
Mayor Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Mayo?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Aye.
Ms. Joyner, your prayers were answered. Congratulations. Under item E, consideration of granting a special use permit at 145 Franklin Turnpike.
Just did that one.
F.
Well, they're trying to give you a double blessing. Under item F, consideration of rezoning 1100 West Main Street. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. Good evening, sir.
Mr. Mayor, everyone, Stephen Gould with Burns Gould Law on behalf of Caesars, Virginia. Happy to answer any questions that you may have related to this request.
Any questions? Thank you, sir. We're still in public hearing. Anyone else would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. I close the public hearing. Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve an ordinance rezoning 1100 West Main Street, parcel ID number 51530, from M-I Industrial Manufacturing District to CE, Casino Entertainment District.
Second by Vice Mayor Gary Miller. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle? Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Mr. Hood?
Aye.
Mayor Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Mayo?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
I want to do something. Stephen, can you come back to the microphone, please? I'm sure council don't mind me doing this, but I'm sure the citizens were wondering, what is the next step now with Caesars? I'm sure there's a lot of questions everywhere I go. What is the next step, if you can answer any of those questions for the citizens, please?
Sure, I will I will cede my time to Mark Schlang, who's
Please.
the design and construction team member for Caesars, who is overseeing this project, and I'll allow him to just give you a quick update.
Thank you so much. I'm sure council members, as everywhere we go, people are wondering when is construction and everything's going to start. So good evening, sir, and welcome again.
Good evening. Again, Mark Schlang with Caesars Entertainment. Quickly, we are in the process of, we've received bids for the first phase, which is demolition of the existing structures on the property, and hopefully we'll have an award here within the next couple of weeks. Coupled with that, we're doing a hazardous materials survey of the property right now. So we're designing. Our team is hard at that effort right now, and hopefully here within the next couple of months we'll be able to start to share some exciting pictures for you and some visions of where we're headed with the project. So,
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Any other questions, Willem?
You'll be careful what you ask for. Thank you so much.
So
See what I mean?
Yeah.
But the designs, the public will be able to see the final design, you said, within the next couple months?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're coordinating some dates right now for some internal work sessions, and then hopefully here within the next couple of months we'll be able to start sharing.
It's a lot of excitement in our community. I just want to you give them an update, and thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you both. Thank you. Under item G, consideration of amending the zoning ordinance to allow contractors' establishments in the HRC zoning district. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time.
Mayor, everyone, still Stephen Gould with Burns Gould Law. I'm here on behalf of the applicant tonight, happy to answer any questions, and I'll just say that we appreciate Mr. Plachinsky and his team working with us to find a compromise that was workable here.
Thank you. Anyone else? We're still in public hearing. Anyone else would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward for this time. Close the public hearing. Councilman Buck.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve an ordinance amending and reordaining Chapter 41 entitled Zoning Ordinance of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986 as amended, more specifically to amend Article 3M entitled HR-C Highway Retail Commercials, Section B entitled Permitted Uses, and add subsection 34 entitled Contractors' Offices and Shops, and Section C entitled Uses Permitted by Special Use Permit to add subsection 29 entitled Contractors' Offices, Shops with Storage Yards.
Second by Councilman Mayo. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Whittle?
Yes.
Buckner?
Aye.
Hamel?
Aye.
Mr. Hood?
Aye.
Mayor Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Mayo?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders?
Aye.
Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Under item H, consideration of amending the zoning ordinance to add a definition for cannabis dispensing facility. I open the public hearing. Anyone would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward at this time. I close the public hearing. Councilman Vogler.
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt an ordinance amending and reordaining Chapter 41 entitled Zoning Ordinance of the Code of the City of Danville, Virginia, 1986 as amended, more specifically to amend Article 15 entitled Definitions, Section B entitled Definitions, to add a definition for cannabis dispensing facility, and to amend Article 3J entitled NC Neighborhood Retail Commercial District, to add a new subsection 16 entitled Cannabis Dispensing Facilities.
Second by Councilman Buckner. Discussion of the motion. Councilman Whittle.
Yeah, so it seems to me it should read that it's a medical marijuana, excuse me. Yeah, medical, it's a medical cannabis dispensing facility, because that's what that's what's legal now.
City Attorney, could you care to elaborate?
Yes, the definition that's being added comes right out of the state code, and it makes it very clear that it is for medical marijuana or cannabis use only. And in fact, in order to get access to this facility, you will not only have to have a prescription from a doctor, you'll also have to have a license issued to you. So this is not a cannabis where you can just go up and buy it. This strictly is for medical purposes only.
So what would be the harm of putting medical cannabis every place we've got cannabis and define it better here? That's what it is, so why don't we say what it is? It's supposed to be a medical cannabis.
Have you all voted on
We
it?
haven't voted on it yet.
Then somebody can make a motion to amend the resolution and say medical cannabis, just put the word medical there, and then you would vote on that amendment and then the motion as amended.
Dr. Miller's ready to make amendment.
Make
Councilman Vogler.
each place we have medical cannabis, we put medical cannabis. That's what we're voting on. But we might as well define it better.
Councilman Vogler.
Unless I just misunderstood you, though, you said the code language, not the resolution, but the actual meat of what we're approving does have that language, right? It's straight from the state.
It's the state code definition for medical cannabis. Is that correct? So, yeah, Doug and I worked on this to make sure that it's the state code definition.
So the state code doesn't have medical in it. What we have now doesn't have medical in it, but it's the state code.
That's correct.
Councilman Vogler, back to you.
I'm fine leaving it as it is. I think we should be in line with what the state says.
I think the only thing we're doing here is if we add medical to it, we're kicking the can down the road till 18 months from now when it's fully recreational, so there's no need in adding anything.
I disagree. I
What's
think we
already
need to define, we can define what we want here in our code, and I think it would be medical cannabis.
Well, we'll allow, once we get through discussion, we'll allow that to take place if you want to put that motion on the floor. Councilman Saunders.
Thank you, Mayor. It also talks about dispensing facility. So does that mean that anyone can doctor's offices, for example, can they dispense it for a fee? But in terms of dispensing facility, medical, yes, but can any medical facility they wanted to, could they do it?
I'll start.
They would have to get a license through the Commonwealth in order to do that, the facility itself. So the patient has to have a prescription and a license, and then any facility would have to have a license as well in order to be a dispensing facility. And as I understand it, there's probably only going to be, for this, since it is not recreational, there's probably going to only be one of these per jurisdiction.
So we're talking about a zoning ordinance, but even if you have a location for that, you still must have a state license in order to sell it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Dr. Miller, the motion is on the floor.
So well, in other words, Mr. Buckner said kicking it down the road. I don't think it's kicking down the road. According to what you say, it's only medical, and we still have to vote 18 months from now to have a cannabis dispensing facility.
Well, there's a lot to talk about when we get to recreational, and I'll be talking to you about that in future meetings. But this is, for tonight, you just need to know this is only medical, not recreational.
Because there may be some benefit from medical cannabis, although there's never been a controlled study, scientific study that shows it's a benefit. It's all anecdotal from patients. There is danger from willy-nilly cannabis use. I had 6 people, young people, under 40, have heart attacks last year, and their only drug was cannabis. They smoked it. It's a dangerous drug, and I'm very much against it being legalized. Be legalized, not criminalized. I'm okay with that, but I'm very much against it being able to be sold on every corner, every store. It's a dangerous drug.
Maybe it would help everybody if I were to read the definition that you all are approving tonight. It says cannabis dispensing facility is a facility that 1, has obtained a permit from the Virginia Board of Pharmacy, 2, is owned at least in part by a pharmaceutical processor, and 3, dispenses cannabis oil produced by a pharmaceutical process to a registered patient, his registered agent, or if the patient is a minor, or incapacitated adult, to such patient's parent or legal guardian.
That's what I'm saying. It does say it.
Yeah, Sherman.
Medical.
Sherman.
Mr. Attorney, with regard to getting a state permit in order to sell this,
Yes, sir.
does the state permit require the seller to have certain security measures in place? To get a state
answer on
permit?
that was, my answer is, I would imagine they would, but I wouldn't want to tell you a lie and say absolutely, but for any other permit you get for stuff like that, for dispensing a controlled substance on a pharmacy, for instance, they can dispense controlled substances. There have to be security measures in place in order for that to happen. This will be like a drugstore whose only product that they carry is the cannabis oil, and unlike a drugstore, you can't walk in, I can't walk in unless I got a prescription and a permit from the state. As a patient, the patient has to has that as well.
Did you just say that to get a state license to sell cannabis, you can only sell cannabis?
Yes.
So an existing business that sell other products cannot sell the cannabis because they sell other products.
Maybe let me try.
That's the way I understand it.
Can a cannabis dealer sell cigarettes, everything else inside, or just cannabis only?
I think they only can sell cannabis inside.
Sounds
I
good.
will research that and get back to you on that, but I really believe that's the only thing they can, because they are really trying to tightly control this. Again, I don't think it would make business sense to do anything, because only so many people are going to actually have a prescription and a license to come in to buy the stuff. You got to have both to buy it.
Sounds good. Councilman Saunders, back to you. Back to you.
Prescription to get it and a license to buy it, or a license and prescription, same thing?
Both.
I thought you said a prescription to get it and a license to buy it.
That's correct. They have to have, as I understand it, they have to have a prescription from their doctor, and they have to have a license.
So if I wanted cannabis and my doctor gave me a prescription, do I have to have a license?
Yes.
And what kind of license what kind of license do I have to have?
I think that your doctor would either be the one to license you, or would be referring you to the proper board to get the license.
Back to you, Councilman Saunders.
a little bit confused, but I'll leave it alone.
I think it's like the state. I think it's everything that's going on in the state. I was going to ask you a question to kind of define the marijuana laws that passed the 1st of July, but I think I'm going to leave it alone.
I can help you with it. I mean,
Let me get this. Let me get this off the. Let me get a motion on the floor for this, and then I definitely want you, because there's a lot of questions that's coming my way about the marijuana laws that have been approved July 1st. There's a motion on the floor.
Still got another question.
Please.
So if we're going to do anything different, I want to know when it says we're changing this to neighborhood.
Speaking to your microphone.
Excuse me. It also says that we're going to, Article 3, J, neighborhood commercial retail. What is what's the difference in neighborhood commercial versus highway retail? And does neighborhood mean your local convenience store, which I doubt is going to be that, but anyway.
That's a great question to provide a distinction on. Typically, the neighborhood commercial retail zones are intended to serve a smaller geographic area for their customers. So it's the immediate neighborhoods, the broader community, not generally like a regional draw or a lot of traffic going through like a highway center would be a main shopping center, or the other intense zoning district that Danville has for commercial is the planned shopping center. That would be like the mall or the shopping center with Target in it, with its drawing from way outside Danville for a regional market. So these are, the neighborhood commercial districts are local, they're smaller in scale, and that we think it fits in well with the compassionate care elements of medical cannabis.
West is getting ready to open up. And that means that it's going to be extremely easy to get to, even in, I don't know where they're going with everything. I just was making sure that if we can away from the kids the best we can. I just figured neighborhood was really close for everything versus coming out on Target.
I'll also throw out that the state rules to get the licensing from the Board of Pharmacy, you have to show that your site is at least 1,000 feet away from any school or daycare center. So that's part of their licensing. We didn't incorporate it in the zoning ordinance because that distance requirement's already there.
5 licenses that'll be given out in Virginia, 4 of them already given out. They've got nothing on this lower side yet. And it is for knee-jerk, and that's the only thing that bothers me, is because my questions, and I don't read, I mean, I'm not on the internet, so I try to make at least a decision, and this just seems like a knee-jerk decision for me, and I'm not dragging you out for anything.
Councilman Vogler and Councilman Saunders. Thank you. Councilman Vogler, Councilman Saunders.
To bring this back around, because we've been talking about a whole lot of different things, what we're voting on tonight has nothing to do with what is or isn't coming 18 months from now. We're talking about medical cannabis. We're talking about one facility, from what I'm hearing, that you have to be licensed for to dispense. The people going in have to have a prescription from a doctor to obtain. So all the other things of people have different opinions on really aren't relevant to the conversation that we're talking about tonight. I just want to make sure folks watching, because they're hearing a lot of different comments about different things and kids and this, that, and the other. That's not what we're voting on tonight. And so I want to be clear about that, because I think that's a completely different discussion. And, you know, we'll have that whenever the time may come. But what we're talking about tonight is separate from all of that. I just want everybody to keep that in mind.
But also, this is something that's new not only to the state, this is something new to the community. And I think the more discussion we have, the best knowledge is power. Councilman Saunders, and then Councilman Whittle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and you just put your finger on it. It's my understanding this became legal July 1. I also understand that some businesses have already opened and are selling the product. Maybe we can learn who those businesses are and how did they comply with all rules and regulations. If they have a state permit, then it's public record. Is that correct, Mr. Attorney?
That's correct, sir.
So we're 5-6 days in to it being legal and people operating the business, so maybe we can find out who they are and did they have any issues and how did they resolve them? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Whittle, back to you.
So again, what I'm voting on is a cannabis dispensing facility, not a medical cannabis dispensing facility, because it just does not say that in it.
Attorney, you may want to reiterate what we're voting on. Because I think what I understand, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Attorney, is what we're voting on is a state code that deals with medical cannabis, which we don't have medical cannabis written in what we're voting on tonight, but it covers medical cannabis.
That's correct. The definition talks about pharmaceutical, so it's like a prescription.
Thank you, sir.
Use the word pharmaceutical and.
Thank you.
And patient, correct? Isn't the word patient in there?
Yes, sir.
That's
Correct.
medical cannabis.
Thank you both. Thank you all. Dr. Miller.
Councilman Saunders just confused me. Other facilities in this town can't be selling it, right? Dispensing.
No. Right now, there's going
Have to have this license.
Right now, there's going to be one in Bristol. There's going to be one in Roanoke. There's going to be one in Lynchburg, and there's going to be one here. There may be one in Abington. So I don't know. The processor is moved from Bristol to Abington. So at this point, this company that we're dealing with, that's what they're doing. That's right now where the licenses are going to be.
Well, in the
Right now,
future, we'd have to have a way, or other stores wanted to sell this, or other business, they'd have to come before council and get a license.
I don't think they'd have to come before the council. They'd have to go before the Virginia Pharmaceutical Board in order to get a license, and if they fit within the
Medical.
zoning category, yes, if they fit within this zoning category, then they'd be allowed to locate here.
Well, what about recreational cannabis?
That's a whole different ballgame. and
We're
that's
not there
something-
yet. We're not there yet.
That's right, and that's something we need to have a discussion on. But this does not include recreational use of marijuana.
Let me thank everybody for the conversation and discussion because it's well needed. As Councilman Saunders stated, this is 5 days in. There's going to be a lot of questions, and there are a lot of questions out there. There's a motion on the floor. Madam Clerk, if you call a roll, please.
Buckner,
Aye.
Reverend Campbell,
Can we have a clarity on actually what we're voting on, sir?
We're voting, Clark, reiterate again, what's not in there is medical, but we're actually voting on medical use of cannabis.
With state codes, right?
State codes.
Waiting on the state code.
Aye.
Mr. Hood,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Mayo,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Saunders,
Aye.
Mr. Vogler,
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Under item, now, Clark, I'll wait to the end, let me get through this, but I do want you to give me some information in regards to July 1st, with marijuana, the amount of marijuana that can they smoke it in the car? I'm getting all kinds of stuff, and I don't know. So, on item I, consideration of authorizing an application to the Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation. I open the public hearing. Anyone who'd like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. Anyone who'd like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. I close the public hearing. Councilman Campbell.
Mr. Mayor, I move for adopting a resolution authorizing application by the city to the Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation for grants for operating and capital costs for public transportation for fiscal year 2022.
Second by Councilman Buckner. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call a roll, please.
Reverend Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. Hood,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Mayo,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Saunders,
Aye.
Mr. Vogler,
Aye.
Mr. Whittle,
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Now, item J, consideration of amending the fiscal year 2022 budget appropriation ordinance for Virginia Department of Aviation Airport Maintenance Funds and local share for a total appropriation of $120,000. Council, what's your pleasure? Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2022 budget appropriation ordinance to provide for State Department of Aviation maintenance grant funds related to the maintenance of certain airport properties in the amount of $100,000 and for the local share in the amount of $20,000 for a total appropriation of $120,000 and appropriating the same. First reading.
Second by Councilman Mayo. Clark. Question was, tell us the law that was passed, briefly, that was passed July 1st in regards to marijuana. We're not talking about cannabis now.
That's
We're
correct.
talking about marijuana.
That's correct.
And how-
First of all, everybody needs to understand that the board that will control that is still being set up, so it'll be January 1st, 2024 before this becomes legal. But what will become legal on that date is,
Wait. You just confused me. What was legal? Let's take it slow. What was legal on July 1 a couple of days ago? Start there.
just the possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana by adults 21 or over. Adults 21 or over can cultivate up to 4 plants themselves. Adults in private can share up to 1 ounce without payment. So those are the things that are legal.
So let's go back, because these are the questions that was asking me, because I don't know the answer to them. So up to 1 ounce, if they're smoking it, can they smoke it in their car?
No, sir.
Can they smoke it in their home?
Yes, sir.
Up to 1 ounce. They can smoke it in their home, they can't smoke it in the car.
That's correct. What's not legal is public consumption. So if you can see it, you can't smoke it. Possession or consumption by anyone under the age of 21. Consumption in a motor vehicle. You cannot have an open container of the marijuana in a public vehicle. You can't sell or purchase cannabis outside of the medical programs.
So wait. The plants that you're allowed to grow,
You're allowed up to 4 plants.
you can't sell that.
No.
So that's for your personal use.
That's correct.
So you can grow 4 plants, and you can smoke that in your house.
That's correct.
I just want to make sure. I mean, a lot is out there. Now we can do the 2024 at the next meeting. I just want to get this.
And so it's important for people to know this has nothing to do with jobs. So if your job prohibits the use of marijuana, your job's going to still prohibit the use of marijuana. I understand right now the Virginia Department of Housing is not going to allow the cultivation or use within public housing. I think there's going to be a lot of restrictions because property owner gets to control anything that goes on in their property. So there will be some people that won't be able to take advantage of this because they don't, for instance, they don't own their property and they rent property or something like from somebody. But essentially, the thing to understand is you can't smoke it in public. You can have 1 ounce on you in public, but you can't be smoking that, and you can have up to 4 plants grown for your own personal use.
Thank you for that. I didn't call you. I meant to call you to actually share the Councilman Saunders. Thank you, Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm very pleased we have an excellent, competent city attorney.
Yes.
And thank you for all that you do, all your research, and you do it well. The city of Danville, we have 3 attorneys. You are one of 3. This is day 6 that the law has been opened for cannabis. There are a number of questions that will continue for a long time because this is brand new for the whole state of Virginia and maybe some other states. I would imagine that Mr. Gould and his law partners may be hiring some more lawyers. Some other law firms may be hiring more lawyers. There will be a number of questions regarding this, Mr. Mayor. So I would like for the citizens to understand it's 6 days old. We don't have all the answers. So when you start calling Mr. Larkin's office, and I hope he doesn't have to assign a special person to answer the cannabis line, okay? So when you call Mr. Larkin's office, please understand this is brand new. We don't have all the answers. And I can tell you right now, Mr. Whitfield is not going to speculate on anything, okay? If it's not black and white, in ink, not pencil, in ink, he's not gonna do it. And thank you for not doing that. So understand, citizen, we don't have all the answers, okay? And Mr. Manager, you can decide if you have a dedicated line, because your phone will be ringing, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much. That was well needed. Clark, you may also share the public. You've just made some promotions in your department. Timing is perfect. You would share that, please, because timing is perfect.
Yeah, I'm very proud to announce that Alan Spencer, who has been an assistant city attorney in our office now for 12 years, as of July 1st, was promoted to deputy city attorney. And then Ryan Dotson, who you all know, has appeared before council. He was a full-time temporary employee, which meant he was never guaranteed a job in the next budget year. He's been given the opportunity to be a full-time permanent assistant city attorney. So we're very grateful for what council did in helping us make those promotions. And I think what it does is provides continued stability in our office for the foreseeable future.
Well, I did what Sherman said. You and your team are absolutely amazing. I tried to call Stephen, but he's been so busy with Caesars. But your attorneys do an amazing job, and I sincerely ditto what Sherman has said, because this is new stuff, and I can visualize in my head possibly someone being pulled over with marijuana and not understanding the laws, and all council members getting all kinds of calls. So I'm going to be calling and asking more questions about it, because I think when this law was passed, a lot of people said, well, I can just go out and smoke and do whatever I want to do, but it's a whole lot of stipulations. Thank you for the work that you've done. On the communication, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to thank the Parks and Recreation Department for all the events that occurred yesterday on Independence Day. I participated in a few myself, and I'm still sore from the first one, which was the 8 o'clock Patriot Challenge, which was supposed to be 4 miles in the woods running, but I think it was more than 4 miles. So there was a lot of discussion about whether it was really 4 miles or not at the end of it. But enjoyed that activity, all the Parks and Recreation staff that was there, putting that event together, helping our community celebrate Independence Day from 8 o'clock in the morning. They got there earlier than that. We showed up at 8 for the run, all the way to dark with a fantastic fireworks show and everything in between. I saw several members of our Parks and Recreation staff out there working on Independence Day, helping our community enjoy the day. So I just want to express my appreciation to Bill and his group for doing that.
It was absolutely amazing. Tommy wanted to ask me the question. Now I can ask you. Tommy wanted to know, were the firework people local, or were they someone, because it was absolutely amazing.
I am not certain where they're from.
But they did a superb job. I think your entire, I know you mentioned Parks and Recreation, but we were down by the fountain, and the police officers, firefighters, your whole staff. I mean, everybody was just, I had to send you all a message. It was, you don't have to leave Danville on the 4th of July. It was really, really nice, everything.
Yeah, and I appreciate you mentioning the folks from police and fire, and of course, probably the Danville Life Saving Crew was out there as well. A lot of city employees, of course, have to work during holidays, and July 4th is certainly one of those, and having our police and firefighters out there working on a holiday just like every other one, and especially this one where there's the potential for issues. From the report I received from Chief Booth, everything was very quiet as far as their activity was concerned. All the people in town enjoying the fireworks, and there were very few issues, if any. So congratulations to the public on that as well.
Well, where we were sitting, Tommy and I, there were some young people running. So now that we approved 2 babysitting services tonight, Tommy, maybe that'll eliminate that. Deputy City Manager. City Attorney, again, thank you for all your report tonight, and thank you for answering our questions. Anything you want to add tonight?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate the manager and his wife. The manager won first place for his age group, and his wife won second place for her age group. So the reason they're sore is because they ran really fast. So anyway, congratulations to both of them.
Congratulations. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Yeah, I do want to piggyback off of what our city manager stated. The city having so many phenomenal events together, and one thing that we noticed and looked at, and Mr. Bennett spoke on, was unity. You saw a lot of unity throughout the city. I also had the opportunity of visiting different playgrounds through the city, just kind of walking through from when I was young and just seeing what all is out there. And I was able to meet with a group of tennis players that play tennis every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, 12 months out of the year they play. A lot of them are elders to me, but they really showed me that I am not in shape to be out there with them. But just to witness that and just the socialization of it and hand-eye coordination with those rackets was phenomenal. I also found out that they play at GW where they're teaching the youth as well. So a lot of these programs in Parks and Rec, hats off to them for, you know, having people coming back to Parks and Rec and really going out and getting engaged in activities. So go Danville.
Thank you.
Mayo.
Nothing this time.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Yeah, Jason Gray's our Utilities Director here. In our last utility meeting, I'm going to give you sort of an update, a synopsis of what we discussed. One is the new, like the new West Fork substation, a fourth substation, which is sorely needed for the western part of our city and the county, and working on that, and we need a new substation. Secondly, there was a list in the paper recently of the rebates that were approved. So if you go replace your electric heating source with a natural gas furnace, you can get up to $1,500 or $1,600. If you get a tune-up, the rebate for that was increased. So there were a lot of things. We're trying to promote energy efficiency in the city. And the battery storage facility is still on track for next spring in the warehouses, what we approved earlier. As long as we can get the part, we've ordered the parts, we've ordered all the equipment. It's just a matter of getting the equipment here and putting that in place. And then next summer, when we have these heat surges, we'll let that take over and lower our utility costs. So that's definitely a good thing. Good events at the Cardinal Village. Constance Covington was honored. The new education center there, that was a great event, and several of the mayor and the Hood and Mayo and Saunders, we were all there, and it was just a great event, and they gave special recognitions to Constance and all the things she does for that area. And the Rockney Block, that was a lot of fun, put on by the city and police. Good event that we had there. And then something that's not so nice, and I know the mayor didn't want to bring this up, but 6 people died recently at Eden. 5 people, and one of them was pregnant, so that's 6 people. Died in that accident in one of these low-head dams. They're dangerous. Like 20,000 have been removed across the country in the last several years because they're dangerous. A man drowned up on the New River the other day in a kayak. He went over one of those and he drowned. I would ask the city manager to look again at what it would cost us and what we'd have to do to remove this dam and bring it back to council later, at a later date. I know it's a time of mourning for those families, but I think they would probably be in unison wanting to get rid of that dam, their families, and they're the changers. When the young kid died in 2010, when he and his grandfather were fishing in Dan Daniel, and their boat got sucked up into one of those. They had life jackets on, the little boy drowned. I can't tell you how terrible it was to sit there and hold his grandmother's hand as she cried. She'd lost her grandson, who was 5 years old, to one of these dams, which shouldn't be there. They're of no use. They don't improve recreation. We can't keep people off of them. No matter how many signs you put up and how well you try to police them, people still walk on the dams. They still fish under them. They are a danger. If you get caught in the undertow, you're dead. They're killing machine. So we need to really look at that and get rid of this dam down here across in front of the Y. Thank you.
Again, our thoughts and prayers out to the families. They just found one of the other young people today. So as Dr. Miller stated, our thoughts and prayers out to the family. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A special thanks to our staff for the City of Danville, police officers, firefighters, public works, everyone involved in protecting our city and serving our cities as well. Congratulations, Mr. Whitfield, on the 2 attorneys who were just promoted, well-deserved, and we know they will do an excellent job. I do have a question, Mr. Mayor, for the manager with regard to the drafting and design plan with regard to Caesars. Whatever that plan end up being, my guess is the city itself will need to look at traffic, roads, highway, infrastructure. So my question to you is, will the cities looking at infrastructure be in conjunction with the plan, after the plan, or before the plan?
Some of the work's already begun, so definitely before the plan. We've done one traffic study already. There may be another one in conjunction with the Schoolfield Master Plan. Our Schoolfield Master Plan, which is being conducted through the IDA, will actually examine the Schoolfield area, including the neighborhood, plus the corridor leading down Business 29 from North Carolina to the site and from the site to downtown. And so there'll be a corridor study for both of those areas, which will examine a number of things, including the businesses and what uses should be there, the traffic, what we can expect, and how we can best respond to what we know is going to happen here in the next couple of years. So we're looking at it proactively.
Thank you. Two last things, Mr. Mayor. With regards to that one, Mr. Manager, today I was going down Bishop into the Memorial Drive and taking a right at the stoplight to cross the bridge. There was an accident. And their cars were backed up really from West Main, literally all the way down to Memorial Drive. And officers did an excellent job in clearing it up. But I was in traffic for a good half an hour, okay? And that's just one street. And we know Bishop's going to be very, very popular, and people who live there. So I'm just saying Bishop, West Main, and also Memorial that comes out, goes into West Main. I certainly hope that we can look at that, because it'll be busy, but it'll be a good busy, okay? Because there'll be money, put it that way. And finally, Mr. Mayor, I would like to just remind the general public, we do not have all the answers to the cannabis issue, okay? So before you start flooding the manager's phone, we don't know. When we do, we'll tell you. And I say that respectfully. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
State legislature doesn't need it, they passed it.
Ooh, the vice mayor said something, Mr. Mayor, but I can't repeat it.
That was one time I was hoping his mic was off, but I heard it. Councilman Vogler.
I hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July. It was a great weekend. The family and I, we had a great time watching the fireworks down in the river. We had the spot down there along all the beautiful American flags down there, and right there where that beautiful dam is, and watching the fireworks on the river, and had a great time. And I wasn't going to say anything about it, but since it did come up, with all due respect to my friend Dr. Miller, I'm opposed to removing that dam, and I have been every time it's come up in the last several years. And for several reasons, and I won't go into all of them tonight because it sounds like this is going to come back up again to council, so I'll save the bulk of it for then. But it's incredibly sad when anyone loses their life, particularly in that fashion. The folks who this happened to recently, again, I think it's important to point out, this didn't happen in Danville. It didn't happen at this area that now we're discussing. You know, Smith Mountain Lake's a very popular place people go to. People drown at Smith Mountain Lake almost every year. They don't drain the lake. We have signs up at that dam that tell people to stay off of it. There's only but so much you can do to protect people from themselves. You put forward things, safety measures, and then ultimately, if somebody wants to do something, they're going to do something no matter what you do. And again, so I was looking earlier today online, and I know these aren't scientific, but I think it's actually pretty reflective of probably the general public sentiment about this, because every time it's come up before, it's been this way. There's a poll online about asking people, do you think the dam should be removed? And as of 20 minutes ago, 128 people said they were opposed to the dam being removed. 4 people said they were in favor of the dam being removed. 2 said they were undecided. So 134 people had voted so far. 128 said they didn't want the dam touched, period. I think that's pretty reflective of how the bulk of the population feels. And lastly, I was actually reading a comment on here, and I don't want to read her full thing, but it was actually really in-depth and heartfelt. The young lady whose father is one of the people who drowned a year ago at the dam, her closing remark was, "My father died doing what he loved, and he wouldn't want the dam removed, and neither do I." This is the daughter of someone who experienced this. So, again, we've talked about this numerous times over the years, and every time we've decided not to do anything about it. My position hasn't changed. I'm still opposed to removing the dam. Thank you.
Whittle?
Danville has jobs, and we have jobs, and we have jobs. So we've got entry-level jobs, we've got higher-paying jobs, we've got jobs. So come on to town. If you want a job, Danville's open.
Like
Thank
that. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo a few things that have been said tonight. Our city, our 4th of July celebration was just absolutely phenomenal, and the staff did an excellent job. Our public safety officers did an excellent job. I also witnessed Mr. Larkin crossing that finish line in record time. Let me tell you what, he's very modest. His wife Michelle did an excellent job, and my wife Jessica ran the race as well. She did a great job too. She finished a little bit before Ken. I won't say how long before, but my wife beat Ken. Also, Mayor and City Attorney, I think we should get with the IT department and maybe have a frequently asked questions tab put on about the cannabis stuff. It seems pretty simple, but you know, maybe some folks need to see the law actually outright, you know, so everybody understands what they're allowed to do, how much they're allowed to grow, how much they're allowed to trade between one another. And I think basically if you do it behind closed doors, it's really, I mean, I think that's what was legalized, was whatever you do behind closed doors, as long as it's within the weight limits, then you're fine, right?
Right, and I'll get with the IT director this week about beginning to put that together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Reverend Campbell?
Well, I'm not sore from the race. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor Jones?
I think what people may not realize is Ken took a vacation to get ready for the race, and that's why he did so well in the race. Oftentimes I do a lot of proclamations and we do a lot of, council does a lot of recognitions for a lot of different people that come before council. And I was sitting here thinking about Councilman Saunders' comments in regards to our attorney and the attorneys as a whole. And I can honestly say, even with my attorney, you all do an amazing job. You don't get accolades for some reason or another. I can't recall. I recall going to the courthouse, doing something at the courthouse, but I don't recall saying to the attorneys in our community, thank you so much for all that you all do. I remember through the whole process of Caesars, Stephen kept us updated. I mean, he just really kept us updated, and even tonight he's back again. And Clark, to see how you are promoting within. You know, I think Ken knows how I feel about that, but promoting within, seeing, because it takes leadership to be able to train leaders. And for you to be able to train the leaders in your department and then see something in them to move up, and I just hope that that is something that the city continues to do. That promotion from within is very, very huge, and I commend you for that, but I also commend you all as doing a great job as attorneys. As was for state, there's been a lot going on in our community. It's for the good, a lot of activities. Council, thank you. We have been everywhere. I won't even name all the places because there's many more to come. I think next week we're at a comedy show on the 17th. Is that correct, Brian? 17th for 2 shows, 5 and 8:30, and we'll be there. So there's a lot of stuff the council is out and about. When you don't see all of us, it's because we're spread out. Some of us are out of box, some of us are here, some of us are there. But we actually enjoy doing what we do because we see all the positive in the community. The police walks, we've been on the police walks, and to be able to talk to the citizens in the community with the police and the agents, that has been really, I enjoy that a lot. And lastly, I'll say, Tommy, you come to council, and you've been coming to council for quite some time. And even though you and I are friends, I don't take it for granted what you do for our community. We could have an NAAC president in our community that could be calling out all kinds of things, but you work with us. And it really devastated me almost to the point when I got the call that you were being rushed down to Duke, I called you right away and just to see how healthy you are and see how things are moving into the right direction. As the president of NAACP, this council appreciate you working with us because that's what it's going to take. And it's definitely going to take you working with us, as for stated, about these marijuana laws. And because when I hear the talk as I'm about to close, I would honestly tell you I'm confused right now because I hear cannabis and I hear marijuana. And I'm asking myself, is cannabis and marijuana, this is me asking myself, is it the same thing? So we definitely appreciate you. Glad you're feeling better. We're going to keep on pressuring you to slow it down somewhat. And I'm sure, as he stated before, to those of you all who send out wishes and well wishes and presents, the many of you who called me, I want to thank you, because those of you who called me asking about Tommy and how's Tommy, they call from everywhere. And so we appreciate it. He's doing better. You saw him tonight. So council, again, thank you. City staff, thank you all for all that you do. But Clark, I'm putting something in your hand. Me and you need to talk about a way that this council can celebrate some of our attorneys in this city, because all of our attorneys in this city do an amazing job. You know how I feel about attorneys. I love. Good meeting adjourned. We going next door?